Welcome to the Surgical Edge podcast for surgical insights, reviews, discussions, and to stay updated. Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to filter through complex topics and bring you the insights that, well, really matter. Today, we're looking at the operating room. It's a place of incredible skill, of course, but it's also undergoing a pretty profound transformation. For surgeons, for medical professionals like you, staying on top of these changes isn't really optional anymore, is it? It's essential for navigating the future. So today, we're diving into artificial intelligence in surgery. We're drawing heavily from the source, AI in surgery, the era of augmentation and autonomy. Now, before we jump right in, just a quick but vital note for everyone listening. This deep dive is purely for informational and reference purposes. Everything we discuss, all the insights, they're based on the source material provided. It's absolutely crucial that you always follow your local institutional guidelines, your professional standards, and clinical best practices, always. This information is here to inform you, not to dictate how you practice medicine. Your clinical judgment, your adherence to protocols that remains paramount. Okay, right. So our mission today, explore how AI is already augmenting surgery in 2025, and then look ahead, maybe 10 years or so, to see how it might evolve towards more collaborative, maybe even some autonomous roles by 2035. Okay, let's dig in.
It really is fascinating to see how quickly AI has gone from just a concept to something integral across the whole surgical pathway. For professionals like yourselves, on the front lines, understanding this isn't just about satisfying curiosity, it's about preparing for how your day-to-day practice, your tools, and, well, ultimately your patient outcomes are going to be shaped by this.
Exactly. We're not talking science fiction here. This is happening now, making a real difference. So in 2025, the main idea is augmentation. Right? Enhancing decision-making, enhancing precision all the way through the patient's journey.
Absolutely. That word augmentation is key. It's not about replacement. It's about value-driven integration. AI tools designed to give you real measurable benefits, making your work more efficient, maybe more precise, and definitely aiming for safer outcomes for patients.
And that starts way before the OR, doesn't it? Let's talk pre-op. Preoperative planning, diagnostics, image analysis seems like a huge area. How are AI algorithms changing how you look at scans like CTs or MRIs?
Oh, it's a massive shift. These algorithms can automatically segment organs. They can highlight tumors or other anomalies with incredible accuracy, measure volumes, and, crucially, they flag anatomical variations. Think about an unusual blood vessel near where you need to operate. Knowing that beforehand, that's huge.
So it's like getting a personalized map before you even start.
Exactly. A detailed, personalized 3D map. You walk into the OR knowing the patient's specific anatomy intimately. It's almost like you've rehearsed it. It really is preemptive mastery.
That's a big leap. And beyond just the visuals, AI is getting predictive too, using electronic health records, EHRs, to create risk scores.
Yes, and this is moving us beyond just general risk factors. It's highly individualized. AI can sift through tons of EHR data, past history, labs, notes to predict specific complications.
Like what sort of things?
Things like surgical site infections, maybe anastomotic leaks, venous thromboembolism, serious potential issues.
The practical application for the surgeon.
It means you can target prehabilitation, maybe specific nutritional support, physiotherapy, even psych support before surgery to get that patient in the best possible shape. It really optimizes them. And it makes you wonder, just how much more optimized can we make someone before they even get to the OR? We're pushing what prepared for surgery really means.
That's powerful. Okay, so the patient's optimized, the surgery's mapped out. Now let's go into the OR itself. What about intraoperative assistance? Real-time cognitive support.
Right. This is where AI becomes sort of an active partner during the procedure itself. The biggest thing here is AI-powered computer vision. It analyzes the live video feed from your laparoscopic or robotic camera. Think of it like a super intelligent assistant constantly watching, but seeing things the human eye might miss.
Okay, and anatomy recognition.
Yeah.
You mentioned overlaying AR highlights. How does that work in practice?
It's pretty intuitive, actually. The system can, say, highlight and label the ureter during a colectomy, or maybe critical nerves during prostate surgery right there on your screen or in AR goggles. These visual cues act as a real-time safety net. They can dramatically cut the risk of accidental injury, especially when the anatomy is tricky or varies from the norm. It's like having a live anatomical atlas.
Wow. Okay, so identifying structures is one thing. What about assessing something like tissue perfusion in real time?
Yeah, another critical area. AI can give an objective analysis of tissue oxygenation and blood flow. So, for example, in colorectal or upper GI surgery, it gives you immediate data-driven feedback on whether an anastomosis is likely to be viable. Is the blood supply good enough? AI helps answer that objectively, reducing guesswork and the risk of leaks.
And for oncology surgeons, I imagine tumor margin delineation is a game changer.
Absolutely. AI-driven hyperspectral imaging can help identify cancerous tissue right at the margins, sometimes beyond what's visible to the naked eye. It's about getting that microscopic assurance of a complete resection. This could fundamentally improve recurrence rates, leading to better long-term outcomes. It's a huge deal.
It really sounds like the robots themselves are getting smarter, too. Not just tools, but context-aware partners.
That's exactly the term. AI gives them a new layer of intelligence. We're seeing things like tissue-aware motion. The robot can actually adapt the force it applies based on what tissue it senses, differentiating artery, nerve, fat.
So it adds another layer of safety and finesse.
Precisely. Imagine feeling that subtle tissue resistance, but amplified and interpreted by AI. It enhances your feel for the tissues, strangely enough, even through the robot.
And are we seeing robots taking over more sort of standardized tasks?
Increasingly, yes. Things like suction, irrigation, maybe even suturing a standard anastomosis tasks that are repetitive that need high precision. Automating parts of these is becoming more common.
What's the benefit there?
Well, it reduces surgeon fatigue, especially in long cases. It can potentially shorten operative times, too. It lets you, the surgeon, conserve your focus for the really critical, unique parts of the operation that demand your full judgment.
Okay, so AI is changing prep, the surgery itself.
Yeah.
But it doesn't end when the patient leaves the OR, right?
Yeah.
How does it support post-op care?
No, it continues right through recovery. On the ward, you've got AI systems monitoring vitals, lab results, nursing notes in the EHR, constantly looking for subtle patterns. And the key thing is they can generate early warning scores that predict complications, things like sepsis or hemorrhage, potentially hours before they become clinically obvious.
Hours. That's significant.
It is. It's about preemptive intervention. It gives the clinical team a critical head start, potentially turning a crisis into a manageable event.
That's incredibly valuable. And then there's remote patient monitoring after discharge. That seems like a major step.
It really is. Wearable sensors, smartphone apps, all powered by AI track recovery at home. Mobility, heart rate, temperature. Patients can even send wound photos. Algorithms analyze this stream of data, provide personalized guidance, and crucially flag potential problems to the surgical team. This enables those hospital-at-home models, which patients often prefer, and it frees up hospital beds, too.
It's clear AI's impact is huge, but it's probably not the same everywhere in the world.
No, you're right. There's definitely a global disparity. In high-income countries, we see AI integrated into advanced robotics, sophisticated EHRs, really pushing the boundaries of complex surgery. But in low and middle-income countries, the focus is often, quite rightly, on more accessible, cost-effective tools. Maybe AI-powered ultrasound on a tablet for quicker diagnostics, or AI for surgical training simulations where specialists are scarce. These tools are vital for bridging gaps in care.
Okay, that's a great snapshot of where we are in 2025. An indispensable assistant, really. But this is just the start. So, looking ahead, the next 10 years, how does AI evolve? Moving from just assisting to being more collaborative, maybe even autonomous for certain things.
Yeah, the next decade leading up to maybe 2035 looks set to be truly transformative. It's all driven by, well, faster computing, more data, smarter algorithms. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how surgery is practiced.
And the headline grabber is always the autonomous surgical robot. But let's be clear, we're not talking about a robot doing a whole Whipple procedure on its own, are we?
Absolutely not. At least not in that time frame. When we talk about autonomy now, we mean the first steps, likely regulatory approvals for limited task autonomy. Specific, well-defined, closed-loop tasks.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine the surgeon does the complex resection part of a bowel surgery. Then the robot, under supervision, performs the anastomosis, the joining with perfect, repeatable precision. Or maybe it dissects a very specific tissue plane along a major vessel.
But the surgeon is still in charge.
Absolutely. The surgeon is the supervisor, always ready to step in. It's about automating the highly precise, maybe repetitive parts, freeing up the surgeon's cognitive load for overall strategy and managing the unexpected.
Okay, so that's task autonomy. And you mentioned AI getting more predictive, moving from just flagging risks to actually recommending actions.
Exactly. It's a significant leap. Instead of just saying high risk of leak, the system might suggest, based on this patient's data, consider adjusting medication X and scheduling a follow-up scan on day 3. It turns prediction into proactive guidance. And we'll also likely see much better long-term outcome prediction. AI could analyze pre-op data to forecast functional outcomes, quality of life, return to work for different surgical options.
Which means better patient counseling.
Truly shared decision-making. You can sit down with a patient and say, with approach A, your predicted quality of life score at 1 year is X, but with approach B, it's Y, though the surgical risk is slightly different. It allows counseling based on their priorities. It's a level of personalization we haven't had before.
That's really patient-centric. And all these different AI tools, planning, guidance, monitoring, will they start to merge?
Yes, that's the vision of the surgical intelligence platform. A single, seamless system. It takes the pre-op scan, helps generate the plan, loads it into the robot, adjusts strategy based on real-time intraoperative findings, and then manages the post-op recovery pathway. Some people talk about creating a continuous digital twin of the patient, a dynamic virtual model reflecting their entire surgical journey.
Wow. And could this technology help level the playing field in terms of surgical expertise, democratize access?
That's a huge potential benefit. AI-powered guidance, perhaps delivered through AR glasses or remote platforms, could make complex techniques more accessible globally. You could have a skilled general surgeon in a remote area performing a procedure they wouldn't normally tackle, with AI providing real-time anatomical mapping, critical structure warnings, maybe even step-by-step guidance like having an expert mentor beamed in. It could significantly democratize access to specialized care.
This is all incredible potential. But it raises some big questions too, doesn't it? Especially around the ethical and practical side for surgeons.
It absolutely does. These are things we need to grapple with as a profession.
Mm.
One of the big ones, especially with any level of autonomy, is liability.
Right. Who is responsible if an autonomous system makes an error?
Exactly. Is it the surgeon supervisor? The
Yeah.
hospital? The company that made the AI? We'll need new legal and regulatory frameworks. It'll likely involve some form of shared responsibility, but the details need careful thought.
And what does this mean for the surgeon's role itself if AI handles more of the technical aspects?
The role definitely evolves. It shifts away from purely manual dexterity towards masterful oversight, critical interpretation, and crucially, empathy. Your expertise becomes validating the AI suggestions, knowing when to override them, managing the unexpected complexities AI can't handle, and maintaining that vital human connection with the patient. That becomes even more important.
So surgical training needs to change too.
Fundamentally, it will need to include much more on data interpretation, human-AI interaction, understanding the systems, managing the technology. It really prompts a question for every surgeon listening. How do you see your own skills, your own practice needing to evolve to thrive in this future?
What a fascinating journey we've mapped out. So to quickly recap, 2025 sees AI as this indispensable assistant, enhancing what surgeons do across the board. Looking towards 2035, it grows into more of a collaborative partner, handling specific autonomous tasks, always under human oversight. And the ultimate aim isn't replacing surgeons, but creating AI-powered surgeons who can achieve outcomes better than either could alone, leading to care that's safer, more precise, more personalized, and hopefully more accessible everywhere. The next decade really hinges on integrating this technology responsibly, ethically, and equitably. It's a huge undertaking.
It truly is. The potential is immense. The tools are becoming incredibly powerful, but it also forces us to constantly ask, how do we integrate this amazing technology while preserving and even enhancing the core human elements, the judgment, the skill, the compassion that are so essential to surgery? And just to reiterate that earlier point, these tools are aids. Your clinical judgment, your adherence to established guidelines and standards, that always comes first. You validate the tech, you don't just blindly follow it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into AI and surgery. It's certainly given us, and hopefully you, a lot to think about regarding the future of your practice and patient care.
Thank you for listening to the Surgical Edge podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Help us grow and deliver even more relevant surgical content by pressing the support button. Your contribution truly makes a difference. And don't forget to share with us your advice, feedback, and the topics you would like us to include.